Hi, my name is Ashish, and in this video we will see how to create and deploy data loss prevention policies in Microsoft Purview. I will just log on to the portal and take it from there. I'm logged on to the portal. You need to go to purview.microsoft.com, and if you are at the home screen, look for data loss prevention under solutions or on the left pane. When you will click on data loss prevention, you will see the policies option here on the left hand side, and you will see these policies. If there would be no policies, you will not see any policies, and you need to create one by clicking on create policies. What do the policies do? We use DLP policies to help identify and protect the organization's sensitive information. You can set up policies to help make sure information in email and docs is not shared with the wrong people. If you need to read more about it, please go and check the Microsoft documentation. And if you're not able to create policies or you don't have any other options, make sure that your role group permissions are restricted to specific set of users or groups, and you are part of the correct role group on the portal or on the tenant, right? Now, there are many configuration options in Microsoft Purview data loss prevention policy. Each option changes the policy's behavior, right? So we will see some of the common intent scenarios for policies that will help us to map to the configuration options. And then we will see a walkthrough configuring those options. And we need to familiarize ourselves with these scenarios so that we have the basic foundational skills that we need to use the DLP policy creation through the GUI. And then we can use the same option to create our own policies. Right? Now, how you deploy a policy is as important as policy design, right? So you have multiple options to control policy deployment, and make sure that you use these options so that the policy achieves the intent while avoiding costly business disruptions. Make sure that you have necessary permissions on the portal. You have necessary subscriptions, SKU or licensing. You should either have compliance administrator, compliance data administrator, information protection admin, security administrator permissions. And after you do that, make sure that you understand the policy creation scenarios. You need to understand the methodology of creating a policy, intent statement, and then mapping that intent statement to policy configuration options. For example, you might have a scenario wherein you want to block emails with credit card numbers, right? So in this scenario, what you will begin is that you will understand the prerequisites and assumptions, right? So you will understand the prerequisite and assumptions. Okay. So the prerequisite and assumptions is that when I'm blocking those emails with the credit card numbers, I am using the highly confidential sensitivity label. So it would require that we have created and published the sensitivity label. Okay, and then the policy intent statement and mapping. We need to block emails to all recipients that contain credit card numbers or that have the highly confidential sensitivity label applied, except if the email is sent from someone on the finance team to any user. It can be mike@fabricam.com, and we want to notify the compliance admin every time an email is blocked and notify the user who sent the item. All right. So the first is that we need to block emails, and then we have to break this scenario. First is we need to block the emails to all recipients. So where did we block the emails? We will block those emails on the exchange. All right. And then what we'll do? The condition is the email that contain credit card numbers, right? So we will have the conditions to add the highly confidential sensitivity label. And then there are a condition that we need to accept if the email is sent from someone from the finance team, right? So we'll have a condition that sender is a member of our finance team, and then there is no other condition. Then we'll have to match a condition where the recipient is mike@fabricam.com. Well, and we have to notify the user about these notifications, and then we'll have to also notify the compliance admin every time an email is blocked, and notify the user who sent the item. And no one can be allowed to override the block. We have to allow the overrides. And then we have to track all occurrence of this high risk event in the log, and we want the details of any events captured and made available for investigation. Now, to create the policy for this scenario, what you have to do is you have to come under this data loss prevention policies. You click on create policy, and this is the category, which category you want to use or which template you want to use. I click on custom here. I select custom policy from the regulation list. Create a custom policy from scratch. You will choose the type, the content you want to protect. Okay. Name the policy. Make sure you remember that policies cannot be renamed. You can give it any name you want to. Description. Now here we assign the admin units. Choose the admin units you would like to assign this policy to. Admin units are created in Microsoft Entra ID and restrict the policy to a specific set of users or groups. An E365 license is required to configure the admin units. So it is going on the full directory for my lab. Choose where to apply the policy. So in our scenario, we are only applying it on Exchange. We are not applying to SharePoint, OneDrive devices or instances of any sort of, or on-prem repositories. We are only applying it on Exchange Mail. Define policy settings. Create or customize advanced DLP rules option should already be selected. You click on next. Okay. Now create a rule here. You add the name of the rule and provide a description. You add a condition here. Content contains. Group name is optional. Select a group operator is optional. Select add sensitive info types. You click on credit card number. You added it. Still within the content contains section, select add sensitivity labels. I did not created any more sensitivity label. I only created one. So I'll add it for this lab. I'll add it personal, but you should have highly confidential. Where you have content contains, click on add group, not add condition. Sender is a member of. Add or remove distribution groups. Or nothing is selected. You should have a finance group here, so that you should have added finance group here. I don't have it. You choose add condition and you select a recipient is, you enter the name. Let me see. If I john@fabricam.com, under actions, click on add an action. Restrict access or encrypt the content in Microsoft 365 locations. You select block users from receiving email, shared point, OneDrive, and then select block everyone. Select the user notification toggle to on. Select email notifications and notify the person who sent, shared, or last modified the content. Choose whether or not. Policy tips. Under incident reports, to high, and then set alerts to admins to on. Save. You come under this advanced DLP rules. Click on next. run the policy in simulation mode. Next, click on submit. So this is the DLP policy. You can use other scenarios as well, wherein you can create a policy to block sharing of sensitive items via SharePoint and OneDrive in Microsoft 365 with external users. So the policy is created, you click on done, and you will see that policy here. All right. So there are a number of scenarios wherein you have to break down your prerequisites and assumptions and what is the intent and the statement, and then do the mapping that, okay, this condition will be mapped with these options that I will get while creating a DLP policy. You can follow the Microsoft documentations to practice some of the scenarios in your lab and then apply them in your prod environment. All right, I hope this was informative for all of you. If you have any further queries, please mention them in the comment section, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you. Have a good day.